Well, it's some of the most grueling training within the U.S. military. It's called Hell Week for a reason. And that's because to become a Navy SEAL, you have to be the best, the strongest, and mentally capable to eliminate threats and gather intelligence behind enemy lines, whether it be by sea, air, or land, and do it in some of the most treacherous conditions. Well, the training is so intense that at least 50% of candidates don't even make it through. With that said, candidates aren't supposed to die either. We got gut-wrenching news overnight that Navy SEAL candidate 24-year-old Kyle Mullen got sick after completing his intense 120 hours of BUDS training and later died at the hospital. Mullen's cause of death is under investigation as another SEAL candidate remains hospitalized, now said to be in stable condition. For more perspective on what it takes to become a SEAL, retired Navy Captain John Havlik joining me now. He is the co-author of The Leadership Killer, Reclaiming Humility in an Age of Arrogance. And he also served 29 years in Naval Special Warfare SEAL community, leading special operations teams around the world to include the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, the SEAL's most elite operational unit. And I got to know Captain Havlik while on assignment in Iraq during the war. John, good to see you. And first of all, just your reaction to candidate Mullen's death. I know this is a solemn time for the SEAL community right now.
Thanks, Kira, for having me on. Yes, it's a tragedy. You certainly don't want this to happen, and especially to a great kid like that. And first off, I just want to extend my deepest condolences, and my prayers go out to the Seaman Mullen's family for their loss, and the other candidate who's in the hospital recovering.
And just so the public can understand, John, the types of missions that SEALs carry out, the type of missions you carried out, why does the training to become a SEAL have to be so intense?
Well, the nature of the operations we do are often under extreme conditions, under duress, and they start from day one in training to prepare you for what you're going to encounter when you get into the SEAL teams.
What do you remember being some of the most challenging times? Obviously, you took your career totally to the top, but as you kind of reflect on the training you went through, just explain to the general public just the intensity and what you remember from what you went through.
Well, I remember Hell Week being basically controlled chaos. That's from a student's perspective. You are just following the commands and the direction of the instructors wherever it go. And you just take it from Sunday evening when it starts until the following Friday. And it just all blends into one. The whole week just blends into one. And you just try to make it to another meal, get through another day. You just take it one day at a time. Yeah, I remember everything about it. We could go on forever, but it was trying, it was test. It's the reality. You hear a lot about SEAL training beforehand. You don't get the real perspective, the real reality until you get into it and you start. But what it does is just sets you up working with your classmates and hopefully your future teammates in the teams of getting you ready to prepare for whatever the battlefield could throw at you when you go out on an operation.
You know, the Navy's been very transparent, John, with the fact that the two candidates were taken to the hospital shortly after completing the basic underwater demolition SEAL class. Can you tell us what that class entails? And could it have played a role in their hospitalizations?
Well, it's been a while since I've gone through. I think the training's probably the same. But, you know, Hell Week is very hard on the candidate, both mentally and physically. And it's an ultimate test of your desire and your fortitude to become a SEAL. It's what every SEAL has to go through, and you know it when you start the training. I've got to do this if I want to become a SEAL. And it's hard, but I know throughout training and through the Hell Week, there's always medical personnel there. Throughout the week, we get hygiene checks that test, you know, just where they check the doctors and the corpsmen, they're present, check on the candidates, make sure they're okay, looking for any conditions that may be worsening. And then when you're secured on Friday afterwards, you get a complete head-to-toe check by the doctor before they secure and let you go. And so I have to think the candidates got everything that I went through, and I don't think it's changed that much over the years.
And when you talk about the demolition training, I mean, this is where you've got to learn how to survive all types of missions and get into enemy territory through water. So give a couple of examples of what these young candidates, go through in the ocean, in the pool.
Well, I mean, SEALs are part of the Navy. Navy is maritime, so we are the Navy's Maritime Special Operations Force. So you have to be comfortable. I tell everybody when I talk, or candidates or kids that are interested, you don't have to be Michael Phelps in the water, but you have to be comfortable and competent in the water and to do what you need to do as a SEAL. And so some of the things you do in training is take the boats out through the high surf. It's preliminaries of working as a team, working as a team to get through something that's arduous or stress on you. And then you spend just a lot of time in the water, do a lot of open water swims. And that ultimately leads up to what I arguably say is, everybody talks about Hell Week being hard, but to me, the hardest part of SEAL training was dive training afterwards, where you really learn how to become a combat diver and dive under tactical conditions, which are often at night in water that you can barely see your dive buddy next to you, around piers, around ships, just uncomfortable areas that if you're not, again, where I go back, you have to be comfortable and competent in water. You can't handle that on being underwater, where the slightest thing that goes wrong can turn into a loss of your life or your dive buddies or more. If you're not comfortable in that, you shouldn't be a SEAL. And that's ultimately what Hell Week and everything about training does for you, to prepare you to operate when things aren't comfortable.
And I definitely witnessed that in Iraq as you commanded so many men there during that war. And, reforms have been made in the past, John, due to the last death that happened prior to this one. What would you like to see going forward to help make sure this doesn't happen again?
Well, first off, I want to say that, from day one in training through my last days in the SEALs, some 30 years, safety is paramount. Whatever we do, we stress safety. We brief it. We talk about what the training we're going to do, what the evolution we're going to do, and we talk about safety. And everybody knows if they see an unsafe condition, they have to bring it out. So I want that to continue, because ultimately safety is paramount. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your teammates and your teammates. I'd like to see just a thorough, what I would think in my past in the Navy is they do a complete investigation, a thorough investigation, what happened and led to this tragedy, and take the appropriate steps to fix that, to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Retired Navy SEAL Captain John Havlik. John, so great to see you, and always appreciate your insight for so many decades now. Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thank you, Kara.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.